This is Beatwalla, serving up the stories behind the beats and taking you straight to the soul of exceptional artists, as we sit down every week to unravel what fuels their artistic expression and creation, here on Beatwalla, with me, Jo Youle. So welcome back after that very short break. We've just been hearing about the future of the artist here on the innovation stage at the CultTech Summit. And we now have the pleasure of hearing from a real pioneering artist integrating art and AI into her sound. Delarentes is a French electronic producer, singer and composer from Toulouse. She's often described as a woman machine, which we're going to be exploring in this live in conversation right now here on the stage. Also on my electronic music podcast, which is called Beatwalla. Available on Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcasting channels. And so we're recording a live episode of that as well, ahead of her performance on the main stage this evening at 6:15. So please do pop up for the end of the show. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Of that, I'm absolutely in no doubt. So Cecile, welcome to the CultTech Summit. Welcome to Beatwalla.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this amazing introduction.
Thank you for agreeing to come on. I know you were supposed to be giving a talk originally, but I mean, let's get straight into it. I mean, I was absolutely captivated when I finally watched some of the footage from the latest album, the new album that came out at the beginning of the year, Musicalism. You produced it using AI tools developed by Sony CSL. Can we just talk a little bit about that process to begin with? What did that look like?
Yes, at the beginning, I studied music by learning in a very traditional way because my father is a jazz pianist player and I used to sing jazz standard. And one day I discovered the amazing work of Laurie Anderson, a pioneer of electronic music. So at this moment, I decided to create my own music alone in a studio with machines, vocoders, samplers, synthesizers. And after years, I finally feeling there is a connection with the machines, with the technology. And sometimes when I decide to follow a bug, digital bugs or happy accidents, it's a new way to create music. So it was in 2018. I created an album called Unica. Unica is the name of my digital sister. It's like a Pinocchio tale. I am a Geppetto in my laboratory and I created my digital sister. So for this album, it was imperative for me to use artificial intelligence. And I discovered in Spotify lab a new technology. It was the beginning of this stuff, create music with AI. It was little things like generate bass lines, generate melodies, chords, MIDI files, and at this moment I integrated in my processes creative process for all this album after. And for this album, Musicalism, it's a tribute to artistic movement from France in the 30s, where painters used to paint colors and with the music, they're synesthetic. Okay. Well, this synesthesia, and I'm using synesthesia for my young age, and for this album, I collaborated with Sony CSL. They are up. They are in the corner. They have a new technology to discover too. And we created together Synvocia. It's an AI I can use on stage. And with my voice, I paint on the screen. So the AI analyze my voice and generate in a real time visuals. So it's in a real time. It's to perform. And on the album, the studio version, I use AI from Sony CSL to produce. So to generate music, voice, cloning my voice, mix it with all the synthesizers, all the sounds, for all the process of this album.
There is a bloom growing on the side, a little shy, delicate and wise. You passed my way, I just want to be seen a single day, a single day. I'm just a rose on the road, and I just knock at your door. I'm just a rose on the road. Sometimes I'll lay on the floor.
I mean, you've always been, you mentioned Laurie Anderson earlier, who I'm a massive fan of, and she's like a massive control freak about the way her music is made and particularly the way it's played. And I think, obviously you were a bit of a geek right from the get-go in terms of the way that you started to work with computers and mechanical sound. I mean, is that something, how did your dad feel about that? Obviously, for starters, if he was a jazz man, you rebelled.
Yes, for me, the goal of this work is to connect human and machines. So we used to call it uncanny valley. This space where human emotion, and digital stuff are mixed, and I'm looking for this sound. So I like to use my voice in a very natural way and mix it with technology to find a new sound, very strange, very new, but the beginning of everything is my voice and my emotion. And how can I put my emotion with my voice in the machines, in the technology? So for me, it's an instrument. It's a new instrument, and it's like an extension of my body, of my voice, and it's a co-creation and collaboration.
I mean, our voice is an instrument anyway that we're all very privileged, all of us, to carry around inside of us. I mean, when I listen to the latest record, Musicalism, it's your voice is very much at the forefront of the production, and you've obviously, done a lot of work on that, as you said, with the tools. What was that like when you first started to play with that and listen back to it? How did it feel?
I remember a tool I used, the first time I used a tool from this album is developed by IRCAM, the French Institute. The name of this tool is Virtual Choir, and it's amazing because it's like a vocoder or an iModelizer, but very realistic. It's just my voice, and it's open on 20 or 21 voice, like a real choir, and it reacts with my voice, with my vibrato, with my breath, with the pitch of my voice, and it creates a very crazy harmonic voice. And it's not AI, but it's reactive. It's very in reaction with my voice, with my emotion, and with the interpretation of it's an instant, and it's not the same for each performances. And that's what I love to use. And I remember the first time I tried it, for me it was, yes, an extension of my voice, and I like to manipulate it with Mimu gloves. It's a glove with a gesture and the movement. I can change an effect or not. And for tonight, I will do that with my gloves. I manipulate this virtual choir, and it's like a wheel, a sheaf of choir. With the movement, I can decide it's just my voice, or we are many.
I can't wait to see that live in action. It sounds like it's going to be a spectacle. I think in terms of, the emotional connection of
the artist to the music and the way that you have produced it over time. And how has that sort of developed as these tools have developed on your own personal journey? Because the first album was obviously out in 2021. You had the Woman Machine record, or the art, the album that influenced that title that you've kind of embodied, I guess, as time has gone on. So how does that, how has your emotional connection changed to the way that you make music?
I think it's the history, the story of music and musicians. It's each time there is a new instrument, a new technology, a new tool. It brings new emotion, so new kind of music, and new ideas. So for each album, I used the technology of the moment, and it brings me emotions and feelings of this moment. So it's like a photo, a picture of this period of time with this technology. And I think for years, for the beginning of the story of the music, each musician search a new sound, search a new instrument to be inspiring and inspired. And yes, it's very inspiring.
I would say like synthesizers is the thing that you've specialized in then. You've kind of taken that journey forward from, being a kid and obviously playing around, obviously maybe in your bedroom or at home. I mean, how do you feel about the way music is developing like that, in that way? Because I guess maybe some people might think it's sort of cheating. We were talking about the future of the artist previously, and the way that we feed AI, our creative process now. We have to be a little bit careful with how much we give away. Is that kind of something that you've been exploring?
For me, yes, it's all the time. It's something to have fun, because creating it's something we have. We are human, and you can create, and that's a thing we have, and it's forever. And with technology, with AI, we can go very far on this creative way. So I'm not scared for the future, and I think I can't wait to see what we're going to do.
What about in terms of, putting your voice through these machinery? Because obviously, human voice in general is now being replicated. And do you feel good about the fact that, you're obviously laying down your tracks, your music, your voice, and obviously then in the future, perhaps that could be replicated?
Yes, for me, the big revolution of all this stuff for years is what AI can bring to a mixed voice with other things. Before AI, it wasn't possible. Now I can clone my voice, and I can mix it with other instruments like synthesizers, like metallic drums, or like the bird song. And it's very fascinating to find this new sound, and it's very revolutionary. The voice become a sound. A sound, it's a material, and we can mix it with other instruments. So it's not a personification, it's just a sound. And I'm very fascinating of that.
When you grew up and you were into electro music and you were going to free parties and, in the rave scene, did you ever, envisage that things would develop in this way?
At this time, I remember it was just something. It's just a feeling, something inside the body. The relationship with the sound, the music. So I was very far, because at this time I remember I was performing with my father and my family on jazz club, and it was years after I discovered Laurie Anderson. So it was a very long time ago.
How do you think it changes the way that we as, fans kind of connect to the music, the way that you've kind of changed it and developed it and the sort of the direction it's going in now?
I have the feeling we need to have someone being alive behind the music we're listening. Because there is a music we're listening is just maybe to running, to do yoga, to clean the house. So it's music we don't listening really, and there is music with which we have connection, feeling connection, and behind that we need to love the people behind. So for me, for the future, there will be. It's just what I think. It's not. It's just an idea like that, but I think there will be two kind of listening music. The music you like because it's emotional and it's linked with an artist. So you're going to see him or her performing. And the music you're listening just like with not your brain and not your heart. It's just a sound to live with it when we do something or else.
It's interesting you say that because I'm off to ADE tomorrow in Amsterdam, and last year I was invited to go to the Dolby theatre. It's at the Tobacco Theatre, and they were debuting this new listening theatre, which I think is like really spreading like wildfire across the world right now. There's a lot of listening communities. I think that people really want that more personalized and more intimate experience of listening in a way together, so they're not listening in the gym or listening while, like you just said, they're doing their housework or whatever they're up to. And I think when I was looking around me in the theater and sort of, I'd obviously rushed on my bicycle to get there in the pouring rain, and I was a little bit stressed, and just watching people kind of close their eyes and listen to this spatial sound, which is obviously how you mastered the album in Dolby Atmos. So I'm kind of interested as, how did that feel to put your first record through that technology?
Yes, I had the chance to collaborate with Radio France, the French Institute. They are literally invented electroacoustic music with Pierre Schaeffer, Pierre Henry. And on this album, I worked with Hervé Desjardins, a sound engineer from Radio France. And is a specialist on audio spatial for 20 years. And for this album, we realized the interest, and the goal was to create it already in spatial audio. So they bring in my studio a 5-point Deutz system, so I could create my music like that. And after this process, I'm going to Radio France to mix it in Dolby Atmos. So there were different steps of the process, and in all the process, I realized this kind of system of sound is very natural. It's like in the life when we're walking in the street, all the sound we're listening are all around us. And when you work in audio spatial, you are in the center of the sound. So your brain is available to hear more sounds at the same time. And for years, I was frustrated about mixing my music in stereo because I had to make choices because all the elements of the piece cannot live at the same time. But in audio spatials, it's possible. There is no hierarchy of sounds. All the sounds coexist at the same time, and your brain is available to hear it and to feel it, and it's more natural for listening, for create. I think it's the future, and yes, on stage, on the studio, on the phone with the headphone for everything. It's more natural to listening in audio spatial.
I just think that, the art of listening in general has been lost. So for me to see these, theaters opening up for people to go and just listen to something and not be distracted by all the things that we get distracted by, just feels like a really beautiful space to create a little bit, hopefully, like it will be this evening on the main stage when we get to have you all to ourselves here at the CultTech Summit. Well, thank you for speaking to us in English as well. I think you said your English wasn't very good, but it's definitely better than my French. So thank you for that. Appreciate it enormously. And looking forward to seeing you on the main stage this evening. Delarentes, please give her a little round of applause.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us here at the CultTech Summit and here live on Beatwalla. If you haven't given it a little follow on Spotify, please do so. Also head to YouTube and check out this lady's outstanding work. I was literally mesmerized as I was having a little look in the break earlier. Yeah, I couldn't stop watching it. So thank you so much for creating such beautiful visual and audio sensorial experiences for us all. And we'll enjoy that later on as well. Thank you.